Good day, it's Picken here. I'm the CEO and founder of Wealth Migrate, and it's awesome to be on the ground here with Kate. You know, Kate's a South African lady, but she's actually been here on the ground. And I just wanted to start off quickly. You know, Kate asked me to come out in the streets here and make a bit of a fun video about what's happening. I think it's awesome. I mean, today is Freedom Day in South Africa, and a lot of people have the mindset that political freedom is given to you by your leaders. But actually freedom is what comes from within. And I truly believe that to become free, to become a global citizen, you've got to get on an airplane and go and experience culture. That's exactly what you did a year ago. Kate, tell us just about your experience. You've been here nearly a year. What's it like living in Shanghai?
Yeah, well, absolutely. Shanghai is a complete whirlpool of a world. It's absolutely crazy. For starters, everything takes place on people's cell phones. From ordering coffee, ordering your fruit and veg that gets delivered to your house, ordering absolutely anything you can think of, all happens on cell phones. And people are constantly on their cell phones. It's just a matter of, yeah.
I must admit, I find that extremely disconcerting when I'm in a meeting or like in a presentation and I'm talking to people and they're like looking at their phone the entire time. But
yeah,
anyway, it's now tell me, in terms of Kate, something that's blown me away is that, you know, yes, the cell phones, but what about the culture? You know, you left South Africa, you're a very intelligent person, you've got all the kind of the degrees and experience behind you, but you came to get life experience. What's it been like in a different culture?
To be honest, it's been amazing. I've learned so much about the language. Trying to pick up on the different cultural aspects has been really tricky, but it's been incredible. You learn what a different culture experiences on a day-to-day basis and how they deal with those experiences, and from a work point of view, their different work style, and it's been absolutely incredible to learn all that and to be able to work in a culture with Chinese people has just been such a great experience.
Before I move on to the next question, would you recommend that for any youngster to get on an airplane, no matter where they live, whether it's in China to elsewhere or others to China, would you recommend it as an experience in terms of that whole philosophy of freedom and seeing the world at a much bigger, wider angle?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, to experience another country and another culture and to learn all about it is just something that is invaluable, and I recommend it for everyone. You've got to do it because it just opens up your mind and your whole world to greatness and just so much stuff that you never knew was even possible.
So something that blows me away is that, you know, before I came to China for the first time in 2002, like you. I think it's probably your age actually. So that's telling me a lot, but anyway, and you know, for me what blows me away about this place is that people, particularly in the West, have such perceptions around what is actually happening on the ground. They think it's full of rules, communism, you know, nothing works, it's all slow, lack of innovation. And yet I've never experienced a place in my life that has as much innovation as this place. Silicon Valley thinks it's got innovation. It couldn't even spell the word innovation and put an I in front of it, you know. And I wanted you just to explain a little bit about these bicycles that are behind us here. Because, you know, guys, 6 months ago I was here. I was literally here in November last year, and it feels like I might as well have been here 6 years ago, because literally 6 months ago these bikes didn't exist, and now they're one of the biggest phenomena here. What are they? What is the whole philosophy?
So basically, these bikes are a bike sharing app that you download on your phone or you use through WeChat, and you literally scan a QR code, unlock the bike.
So you see, like if you come here and you scan this little QR code here, and it basically unlocks the braking system, and you can literally jump on this bike and ride it anywhere in the city, and then you can use your cell phone and switch it off. Like, and so you can basically pick it up and drop it off wherever you want. Like,
exactly, and anywhere in the city, they're all over the place. And as a matter of fact, Ofo is actually the first bike sharing unicorn in the world.
and my understanding of the numbers, like just to put this into perspective, is that they raised about $450 million in Series A, Series B, Series C, and Series D. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's not a baseball game. It's venture capitalist funding. My understanding, when you talk valuation, they're about a $2 billion company now. But what's fascinating is that they have 20 million rides a day just here in Shanghai, which equates to about $1.5 million US in revenue at the moment every single day, and which is just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And the interesting thing is that to ride the bike, I rode one a week ago. They had all the police on the streets because I basically caused nearly mice pileups. No, it's not a joke. But the point is, it cost us like literally like 50 US cents to ride it down the road. So it's very, very inexpensive in terms of. And the other thing, Kate, the thing that also people in China don't understand. Well, sorry, not in China, but outside of China, is how people replicate stuff. So you mentioned Oppo was the first one, but there's actually 3 of them already.
Yeah, absolutely. There are probably more than 3. They even recently launched an electric bike that you can now scan the QR code and use.
So basically, if you're feeling fat and lazy, like my business partner Jakob Moritz, you find the green one. I don't see a green one here, but that's the one with the battery. And then you can see you've got the orange ones, the yellow ones. I think it will, behind here, you can actually see them riding past. There's another whole bunch on the side of the road over there. You can see them parked all over the place. It's absolutely phenomenal when you see, the people and what's happening. So I want to hold there. We want to go and show you another massive innovation here that's really going to put a smile on your face. So I said to you there's something that blew me away, but I really wanted to just share with you something. It's probably not going to change your business life, but I tell you what, it will change your cultural perspective. Now you can see here we're in an arcade game, which is just kind of in the middle of a shopping centre. Everyone's going about their daily business. And what I find absolutely fascinating is that I ask how many of you love karaoke. Well, in the West, it's really not something that people enjoy, certainly unless they've had, a bottle of tequila. Well, over here, you literally have a karaoke.
用到的和没用到的地方，大部分都有独家专利哦。开采及功放小乐器，每档 mini K 采用专业。
So Kate and I could be coming on a date or something here, and we would choose to go in an arcade set and sing our own little song, and then put it up publicly on social media. I mean, you've seen all those selfie sticks. What is it about the culture here that everything's about sharing and selfies and songs and everything else? I mean, what's your experience?
Yeah, everybody loves a selfie in China, and it's all just about sharing your everyday experiences with your following. I mean, I know we do it a lot in the Western world with Facebook and that sort of thing, but here it's way bigger, and it's all done through WeChat, which is very similar to WhatsApp. But yeah, I mean, you can share your moments, you can share like Snapchat type pictures, all of that, and people do it all the time.
Well, you mentioned WeChat. If you don't know WeChat, go and look for a video on YouTube called China and the Future of the Internet by, I think, the New York Times. It's about a 4-minute video, and it literally explains what Kate's talking about. The average Chinese person looks at it 26 times a day. There's 850 million active users every single day, and it's basically Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, PayPal, Snapchat, all in one place. It's absolutely phenomenal. Anyway, let's go take a look here. I want to show you how this innovation can actually solve, what you're looking for. So we're standing here basically in the heart of Shanghai. We're in the Pudong area, which is the financial district. This is like the New York, the Manhattan of China, basically. And this is where Kate chose to come a year ago, pretty much. When did you actually get here?
Yeah, January last year.
Oh, so it's longer than a year. And you chose to come here, you chose to come experience a different life, but you also came, and something we're deeply grateful for, is you came to kind of join us and really help us get our China office up and running. What's been your experience of kind of Wealth Migrate, what we do? I mean, you've got these towers behind us, these big real estate towers. I mean, this is some of the most valuable real estate in the world. And yet, quite frankly, the accessibility is virtually for nobody, not even here in Shanghai, let alone globally. What's your experience of what we do at Wealth Migrate, and why is it important? And more importantly, why China?
Well, I mean, yeah, China, I don't know why. It was just an option that, I mean, I couldn't turn down because it is the innovation of the world. But yeah, with Wealth Migrate, I mean, I've just been so like Wealth Migrate. I just got the opportunity to come over to China, and it was one I absolutely couldn't turn down. It's just been a phenomenal experience, and it was I've been put in situations that I never dreamed of being put in, and I've actually come out of those situations such a better, stronger person. I've grown so much. I've learned so much about things that I never thought I would learn about real estate and about China and just about starting companies and getting a company up and running.
It's not all that easy,
in China. It's not, but it's just been, I've learned so much, and I've learned about obstacles that you overcome when starting businesses, and just about the people that you deal with in China, the different personalities, the different, so much.
It's interesting, Kate, the way you talk there is, we spoke earlier about this being Freedom Day, and you know, I think you're getting to experience what true freedom is, which is where you, once you break through barriers of fear, then everything on the other side of that is freedom. You know, and whether it's starting your own business, whether it's going to live in a different country, whether it's learning a new language. I know you're learning Mandarin, and I got goosebumps telling you this because that's truly what I fundamentally believe, and I really want to acknowledge you for that. I think it's phenomenal. And for those of you online today, you know, I think really that is probably the most important message you can get. And you can see from Kate how excited it is, how much energy she's got. And more importantly, you know, I wish you could see her from a year ago to today in terms of just her life experience. One last question before we leave. You know, what was your experience of real estate before you joined Wealth Migrate? And kind of what's been your learning experience through being part of it? You know, in terms of why real estate? Why do wealthy people invest in real estate?
Well, before joining Wealth Migrate, I had very little knowledge about real estate and why people would ever consider investing in it.
Had you bought a house?
No.
Okay.
I considered it, but I hadn't, no. But now, for me, it's not about buying a house. It's about investing in commercial properties and multifamilies, that sort of thing, where you can actually put your money and let it grow. And rather than buying a house and having to deal with all the maintenance and all that, and yeah, for me it is about investing in commercial real estate, and I mean, I've learned all about it, and I've learned why it's the best option. I mean, the returns are ridiculous, and it's why millionaires do it. They all do it, and they've got access to it, and previously we didn't. It's just so incredible that we now do. And yeah, I mean, I've learned all about that, and it's been phenomenal to be able to have that exposure.
So I want to finish off because I think that sums it up fantastically. To take the whole Freedom Day concept is that I believe that fundamentally freedom is about empowering yourself. It's about getting access to the education and the knowledge. And you know what really irritates me is that you could learn that education at school, you could learn it at university, but you don't. You have to learn it in real life. And the worst thing is that everything we taught at school, university, and by the financial system is that it's very complicated, and you need to be very clever, and you need to have all the degrees, and it's the complete lie, because actually it's just common sense. You literally just have to read about it, you have to hang around people that understand what they're doing, and the more you do that, the more you realize it'll be common sense. And once you understand that it's common sense, you will have the ultimate freedom in life, which is really about empowering yourself, going out there and creating the economic freedom that you want in your life, and most importantly, creating the future that you want for your life. And I think Kate is an amazing example of that. At a young age, traveling the world, seeing the world, starting businesses, experiencing culture. Quite frankly, what more could you ask for in life? So that's all from me. Kate, it's been an honor and a privilege, and thanks for sharing with everyone. I'm sure they enjoyed hearing from the busy streets of Shanghai here in China. Cheers.
Cheers.